What if I told you one of the most dangerous playmakers in college football played cornerback? What if I told you he might be one of the highest ceiling corners on my board? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, Draft Yoda. We're data-driven and prospect-focused. I am Draft Yoda himself, Bill Wordman, your favorite draft nerd's favorite draft nerd. And today we're talking about one of the most talented defensive backs in college football, Georgia cornerback Ellis Robinson IV. Mr. Robinson is carrying a 9.11 grade on my 10-point scale, making him my number 25 overall prospect and my number 3 cornerback entering the 2026 season. He is currently behind Notre Dame's Leonard and Texas Tech's Brice Pollock. But when most people hear his name, Ellis Robinson IV, they mainly think about recruiting rankings, and honestly, that's fair. He was one of the most highly recruited players in America. He was a consensus 5-star, number 1 cornerback in the country, a top 3 overall prospect nationally. The kind of player programs build recruiting classes around. But now the conversation has shifted. Because recruiting rankings don't matter anymore, production matters. And in his first season as a starter, Ellis Robinson showed exactly why Georgia believed he could become the next great Bulldog defensive back. Growing up in Connecticut and later starting at Iona Prep in New York, Robinson quickly became one of the most coveted defensive backs in the nation. As a sophomore, he intercepted 8 passes, helped lead Iona Prep to its first Catholic school state championship. 8 interceptions. Most players are even getting varsity. He was doing that before most players got varsity snaps as a sophomore in high school. The instincts were obvious. Then he went to IMG. And that's where the national spotlight arrived. For 2 seasons, Robinson started at one of the premier football programs in America. You know, he competed against elite competition every week, every practice, and it sharpened his technique. He learned to play against future Power 4 players and future NFL players. He went 18-1 while he was there. And by the time recruiting ended, everybody wanted him. Georgia won. Kirby Smart landed another future NFL defensive back. What's interesting is Georgia didn't rush him. As a true freshman, he barely played. I think he played 4 games. Maybe just over 50 snaps. And for some players, that would have been frustrating. You know, for Georgia, that's development. That's how Kirby Smart operates. You know, you earn your role. In 2025, he earned his role. He stepped into a starting lineup and immediately became one of the most productive defensive backs in the SEC. 4 interceptions, 7 pass breakups, second team all SEC, and he was the freshman defensive player of the year. And he was looking every bit of the part of the former 5-star recruit that we all thought he would be. When you watch the tape on him, the first thing you just fall in love with is his production. He's a cornerback that can cover, he can tackle, he can run. And what sets him apart is he consistently can take the football away from you. 4 interceptions in his first season as a starter is no accident. It's instinct. It's confidence. It's playmaking. And it's aggressiveness. You know, some corners play not to get beat. Robinson himself plays to make plays. He attacks the route. He drives downhill, challenges quarterbacks. And when he sees the opportunity to create a turnover, he takes it. And that's exactly what happened against Tennessee. I watched every snap of this game. I am a Tennessee fan. and Ellis Robinson crushed me. He diagnosed the route, he jumped it, he took it the other way for a pick six. And that play changed the entire game. It's the type of moment that shows why scouts are excited about him. Not every corner has the confidence to make that play. Not every corner has the instincts to finish it. Robinson has both. Then we watched him against Alabama, one of the biggest games in Georgia's schedule, one of the most talented offenses Georgia played. And Robinson still found a way to make plays on the football. And that matters. NFL scouts don't just evaluate production. They evaluate when the production happens. And if you can do it when the lights are brightest, when the stage is biggest, that checks boxes. What separates him from many other young corners is his mindset. He believes every throw in his direction belongs to him. I know it sounds simple, but it changes how you play. The best corners in football aren't passive. They're aggressive, they trust themselves, and Robinson plays with confidence that's unmatched. And that's why quarterbacks sometimes regret testing him. Nobody's perfect. Nobody will ever be perfect. I've said in every single one. The biggest concern is consistency and coverage for him. That's where the evaluation gets interesting. Interceptions are real, the ball skills are real, but the coverage tape isn't always clean. There are reps where his technique lets him down. There are reps where he's relying on athleticism rather than discipline. And at the next level, that can become a problem. Second concern is his frame. Even after adding weight, Robinson still isn't, one of the biggest corner in the world. Big receivers can challenge him physically, especially at the point of catch. And that's something he needs to continue working on. The third concern is also one of his strengths, and it's the gambling. His aggressiveness creates interceptions, but it also creates mistakes. Sometimes he guesses right. Sometimes he guesses wrong. And when he guesses wrong, explosive plays happen. It's part of the package with him. The challenge is helping him guess right more often than not. And maybe get teams out there that can do that. The hardest thing to teach a cornerback is instincts. You can improve technique, you can improve strength, you can improve footwork, but you can't teach a natural feel for football. Robinson has it. And it's because he's still so young, there's plenty of room for him to grow. And that's why his ceiling is so exciting to me. He's an aggressive football player who attacks the football, generates takeaways, and the biggest question that's going to surround him is whether or not he's cornerback one. Today, he isn't, because Leonard Moore is my cornerback one. CB2 belongs to Brice Pollock right now. But if we're talking just sheer upside, pure upside, nothing else, the conversation changes. Leonard Moore is a more complete corner. Brice Pollock is more consistent. Ellis Robinson is the most talented corner possible. The instincts, the athleticism, the recruiting pedigree, the ball production, these are traits the NFL teams are going to fall in love with. The challenge is turning those flashes into consistency. Because if the technique catches up to the talent, Robinson absolutely has the ability to challenge both Moore and Pollock before this process is up. And that's what makes him one of the more fascinating defensive backs in the country to me. He's currently at a 9.11 out of 10, my number 25 overall prospect, number 3 cornerback. But he's one of the highest upside defensive backs in college football. he has the most room to climb. And that's why 2026 is so important for him. He's a future first-round pick. He's a future NFL starter. And I think his ability to create turnovers gives him one of the highest ceilings in this entire class. The coverage details still need some refinement, but the playmaking is impressive, and it's so impressive you can't ignore it. That's my board. Do you think Ellis Robinson has the highest ceiling of any corner in college football? Do you think he can catch Leonard or Brice Pollock? Where would you have him ranked among corners? Drop your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoy these player evaluations, we build them around film and analytics. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, because we're going to keep putting in this work. My goal is to have 100 prospects before college football kicks off. I'm Draft Yoda, Bill Workman, your favorite draft nerd's favorite draft nerd, and we'll see you next time.